Pleasant good morning to each and every one, and welcome to Cruising with the Case Handler. Once again, a show on personal injury and immigration brought to you by the law firm of Pollack, Isaac, and Lasico. Today is February the 18th. It's a Thursday. We're alive. May not be the greatest weather, but we're alive. We're around. And we're going to be answering your immigration questions today and also get some updates as to what's happening with immigration. Once again, it's brought to you by the law firm of Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. I am David Annakie of the Link Up Media group of companies. We're both based here in New York City, and we're very thankful for you tuning in on Facebook. Do remember to share with your friends and family and everyone there is on Facebook, if possible. All right, and we thank you in advance. Also, of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time for me to also welcome our listeners on 93.5 WVIP FM. Thanks to them for tuning in. Once again, we're actually here to help each and every one where immigration is concerned. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thanks. I want to say welcome to Nelson, Madrid, and Andrea. How are you doing?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, that's me. I gotta fix that. Sorry about that.
Good morning. How are you?
I am fine, thank you.
You know, I just want to actually put Conrad on blast for a second. You know, Conrad was sending Andrea and I emails, you know, reminding us about being on the show at 9:30. And
where is he?
Where is he? Yeah, that's great. It must be good to be the boss or be king for a day, right?
Yeah.
There we go. It's like go do the job. You
Yeah.
know?
Well.
All right. But it's good to be here. I mean, how was your commute in, guys?
It wasn't that bad this morning because it had just started.
Right.
No, but I think it's going to be like very intense during the day. We'll see.
Yeah, I get in really early. I get in about 6:30. It was very minimal at that time.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really bad, but it appears to be coming down now. So
how many inches do you think we're going to be getting?
I don't know. They're saying 8 to 10. That's what they're predicting. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, you know, interesting day ahead of us, to say the least.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they've commute, you know, getting back in. I think someone else is trying to get in now. Let's see. It's Conrad Pollack. You know, let's, you know, we've got Nelson Madrid and Annakie Share, two attorneys at the firm. And finally, we have the managing partner, Conrad Pollack, signing in, logging in, you know. So let's talk a little bit now that we've talked the weather. What's going on with immigration? Any new updates? Anything with the executive orders? Any changes?
So there hasn't been that much this week. It's been kind of slow in that sense, but you know, everything's still pretty much the same with the updates and changes. We still have the non-immigrant and immigrant travel bans through March 31st. They're supposed to expire then, and we don't think Biden is going to extend them. So that's good.
Has he said anything about it though?
No, there hasn't been any
conversation in any way.
Yeah. I mean, there's rumors and there's speculation about it not going to be extended and stuff, but there hasn't been any clear,
okay.
You know,
all right.
Yeah.
And what else? That's it?
So the prior administration had set up a migrant protection protocol in Mexico for people in the border. So basically, people that try to come in through the border and ask for asylum were being told to stay out there or to stay in Mexico, remain in Mexico, and wait for them to be called for a hearing, you know, or just wait. They wouldn't be let in, and that has been a big, you know, that was a big change from the prior administration. There's like people and hundreds of people.
Yeah, I was just about to say, isn't there some situation where they have a lot of people camping near the border?
Yeah, there is. And now with the frozen weather in Texas and everything, apparently they're like freezing over there, and it's very bad. But beginning on February 19th, so tomorrow, the Department of Homeland Security is starting phase 1 of a new project to address the issues with these people. So basically, they're going to give people instructions on how to wait, where to wait, and they're going to have like virtual hearings or like a virtual registration process. So they'll be wherever they are, if they're in Mexico, Guatemala, waiting in this for this process to be able to come in their asylum,
Right.
they'll be able to get additional information of when and where they have to present themselves to immigration. So
if I could just interject, and good morning, everybody. Sorry I was late. I was talking to our famous client, Mr. Singh, who we got out of jail last week, if you recall. His wife had filed a visa petition for him a while back, and we just got it approved. So not only have we gotten him out of detention, and he's back living with his family and back to work, and everybody's happy there, but he's also now one step closer to getting his green card. We just got the visa petition approved yesterday as a result of federal action that we took. I was just talking to him and giving him the news, so that's why I'm late. So PPID successful once again. But talking, going on back to what Andrea was referring to, this MPP program, let's not forget, this was a program created by the Trump administration, specifically to, they say to deal with the refugee problem. It exacerbated the refugee problem. This was another way for Stephen Miller, the former immigration guru of the previous administration, the ex-president, to discourage people from applying for asylum, to discourage people from coming here as refugees, basically to make their lives as miserable as he possibly could, basically setting up these squalid, refugee camps in Mexico, not letting them come to the United States, as had been done previously. Under past administrations, always, they would present themselves at the border and they'd apply for asylum, or they'd come here, possibly illegally, possibly not, and they'd apply for asylum. And typically, if as long as they didn't present a danger to the public, weren't criminals, they'd be released, sometimes on bonds, sometimes not, and have to show up for the hearings. And I don't know, 80, 90% of them do show up for the hearings, despite what the anti-immigrant crowd says. But again, in the past administration, ex-president's wisdom said, well, I have a better idea. We don't want them in. We don't want to let them in because, remember, we're full. U.S. is full, were his words. So let's make them wait. Let's set up these refugee camps in Mexico and let them wait out there, where, of course, they were subject to all kinds of nasty stuff from the gangs and the cartels. And, they created these camps, for these refugees waiting to get into the United States on a list, who knows for how long, just to discourage them, to make it as miserable an existence as possible for them, to hopefully make them change their mind and go back to their countries. That's what this program was created for. That was the intent. And in a lot of respects, it worked. Anyway, Biden now has stopped it in its tracks, although he hasn't eliminated it yet. There is a problem with this program because you can't just reverse it. If you reverse it, then all of a sudden, all of these people out there are going to storm the border, and then you're going to hear about the caravans on Fox News and Newsmax, and and open borders and all of that stuff. So Biden is kind of in a bind. He can't just reverse this as much as I believe that his administration wants to. So they have to do it piecemeal, gradually. And tomorrow is the first step in that direction.
Okay, beautiful. Once again, folks, if you're just joining us, welcome to the show, Cruising with a Case Handler, a show on immigration and personal injury. Adam Handler is the case handler, but he's not here today. Of course, he runs the personal injury department at the firm PPID. That's Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. If you do get hurt in an accident, he's the only attorney that you will truly need. And that firm is the only firm that you will truly need. So make sure you give them a call. For immigration or personal injury, the number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPIDLAW. And just a little bit on DACA, guys. Anything?
Before you get to that, I spoke to Adam earlier this morning too, and he extended his apologies, sincere apologies for not being on the show. But there's a snowstorm coming, and what was he doing this morning? He was out in front of his house throwing down the salt himself. He got one of those new, automated salt machines that they put the salt down in front of his driveway. So he was out there exercising his new salt laying machine, laying out the salt, but ever vigilant. He doesn't want anyone slipping and falling in front of his house.
And remember, folks, take heed. Adhere to what it is that Conrad just said that Adam is doing. You may want to put down that salt. You don't want slip and fall. Next thing, Adam is coming after you and your insurance company. So be very careful.
So Adam is being extremely vigilant and making sure nobody sues him. So he's got the salt down in front of his house in the driveway. And so that's what he was doing this morning. And he did extend his apologies. He'll be back tomorrow.
3 cautions. All right. Make sure you take them. Once again, if you get hurt in an accident, still, whether it's an automobile accident, slip and fall, medical malpractice, construction accidents, make sure you call Adam Handler. I call him the beast. I call him the shark. I call him the hot stepper. I call him the Jamaican. That's what I call him. All right. So make sure you reach out to him. 844-774-3529. Once again, if you're tuning into the station, or watching us on Facebook on Adam's page, the Case Handler, PPID's page, David Squeeze Annakie, note the number 844-774-3529. Dial it, let it ring 10 seconds, and store that number. Yeah, I was just saying, any updates on DACA, anything, just for folks out there who have not heard what you all have said on DACA so far.
So it's reinstated. It's functioning as it was when it first came out by the Obama administration.
And sorry, Andrea, just tell them what DACA is also, if you don't mind, please.
Yes, so DACA is a program that was established for children that came in or were brought in with their parents. Basically, if you enter the U.S. before you were 16, or before your 16th birthday, if you have continuously resided in the U.S. since 2007, if you were physically present in the U.S. on June 15, 2012, if you are enrolled in school or have a degree or went to school or have a high school diploma, and if you were under the age of 31 as of June 15, 2012, and have not committed a felony or significant misdemeanors, then you were able to obtain DACA, which is you get a work permit and you can renew it every 2 years. So it was great because a lot of these kids, even a lot of my friends that were like 22, 23, were able to enroll in college and like go to school and get a work permit. So it was a great program in that sense. But then the Trump administration just wanted to completely eliminate it. It was in the courts for a while, and now it's finally back in place. What Biden has said is that they want to create a path towards citizenship with DACA. So not just keep renewing your work permit, but also be able to eventually get your green card and then citizenship.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So as of right now, it's still in place. You can apply. You can renew it. They're accepting all kinds of applications for it.
Also regarding DACA, the Biden administration is trying to make it permanent. It started as an executive order back in 2012. It's actually been 9 years already this thing has been in place. And it's still not the law, it's an executive order, and therefore it's subject to the whims of whoever the president is at the time. When Biden is no longer president in 2024, or if he's not reelected, God forbid if that other guy gets reelected, they will try to eliminate it again. So the Biden administration is trying to make it law. They're trying to push it through to make it a permanent program under the law, and let's hope that happens. And because these kids, they're subject to these political winds, blowing in whichever direction at whatever time. It's unfair, and 80% of the population in the United States is in favor of giving these kids a path to legalization. But politics being what it is, it's still a political football. But if anything does change, if there is any legislation, in my opinion, that goes forward under this administration, I think it will be I think DACA will become a permanent program finally. My own opinion. What do you think, Nelson?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think the primary purpose of DACA is to obviously protect children, right? You know, as a child, you can't, you know, you don't have the mental state, you know, you don't know that your parents are bringing you across the border illegally, or that your parents are bringing you, you know, or someone is bringing you on a fake visa, or you arrive in the United States and you overstay, right? Where are you going to get the money to buy your ticket to go back? And, you know, again, I think that is one of the reasons why a requirement is that you were under the age of 16.
But
You know?
sometimes you don't even have a family to go back to.
That's right. You know, I mean, I've had clients who have told me, you know, I had no idea I was not born in the United States. You know, my parents bought me at a very young age, and I've lived here my whole life.
Mhm.
You know, and it wasn't until recently, you know, when I was applying to college that I asked my parents, and, you know, my parents told me I was born in another country. So unfortunately, you know, it's very common. It happens. And, you know, I mean, this ties into what Conrad said previously. You know, a lot of these people are coming here for a better way of life. You know,
Most
you
of them
know,
are.
I could tell you stories that are just unimaginable, you know, and people live through these, you know, situations which are, you know, far from normal. You know, I mean, it's not even abnormal. It's something, you know, worse than abnormal. And a lot of them come here, you know, seeking refuge, you know, trying to lead a normal life. So
Interesting. All right. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, that's of course, you know, my good friend Nelson Madrid, one of the partners at the firm PPID, and he's actually, you know, the go-to man when it comes to if you've ever been put or if you ever put in removal proceedings. Make sure you reach out to him. Once again, the number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Gentlemen and lady, are you all ready for some questions? We have a few questions this morning that we would love to actually have addressed here on the show, Cruising with the Case Handler. And people do remember, follow them on Facebook, okay? Pollack, Isaac and DeSico, the Case Handler, and you can also check out my page, David Squeeze Annakie. All right, so here's one. It says, I have a boyfriend who is a green card holder. He has been in Jamaica since May of 2019. His green card expired in June last year. Can you please tell me the best step to take to help him regain his green card? Would
he
you
needs
like
to refile.
that one, Nelson?
He needs to refile.
Lost
I mean,
it.
he could try to come back on that expired green card. It's unlikely he will be allowed back into the United States, but he basically needs to refile. He's obviously been outside of the United States for more than a year. He's
So you have to do everything all over again.
Yes.
Well, you know, when you have a green card, you're supposed to be living in the United States permanently.
Right.
You're permanent. It's green card means permanent resident of the United States. He's been out of the country almost 2 years now. Look, he can try and say, hey, I was in Jamaica and I wanted to come back last year, but the pandemic and planes and so on, I couldn't, or you know, and hopefully if that's the situation, he has some proof that he tried to contact the post or consulate or tried to come back, couldn't. He could get on a plane, like Nelson said, and come to the airport and try his luck when he arrives at JFK and explain, and hopefully he's got some documents to show, hey, I tried to come back. But odds are this guy has lost his green card. He's gonna have to do it all over again.
There you go. Once again, folks, make sure you call 844-774-3529. Many of you listening to this radio show and watching us on Facebook, you need immigration help. We tend to want to go with what our family members tell us or what the people that we're associated with in our communities tell us, not to use an attorney, not to do this. And then we get ourselves in deep doo-doo, as I've always said, in deep trouble. You may want to reach out to the firm, get yourself a consultation, and then retain them. If you think that being in the United States is of high priority to you, you may want to do the right thing. Get professional help. So reach out to them. The number is 844-774-3529. Here's another one. It says here, my American girlfriend is proposing that we get married this year, so we could start filing for me. However, I'm concerned about the filing process because my mother, who is a permanent resident in the United States, is already filing for me. I have not yet received any paperwork from my mom's filing, although she said she has initiated the process. My girlfriend is of the view that marrying her will get me into the United States faster. I await your reply, PPID. I'm a 34-year-old married man, my mother, daughter, and one of my brothers.
And in return, they say, okay, we'll put up a wall, we'll give security, we'll have surveillance, we'll have electrified fences if you're the past administration, with spikes on the top of them. But this time around, the administration didn't do any of that. They just said, this is what we want. If you're here since January 1st, you're in, basically, as long as you didn't commit any crimes or anything. They're not going to get all of that. That's a wish list. And they specifically asked for the moon, knowing that they're not going to get it all, but so they have some give backs. What Andrea just mentioned about these people, like this third preference case, waiting 10 years to get his green card or whatever it's going to be, to get a temporary visa in the interim so he can travel back and forth, that ain't going to happen. I would not get my hopes up. Also, something to consider, every time you apply for a temporary visa, tourist visa, student visa, you have to prove to the American consulate that you're not coming to the United States to live. You're not coming here to work. You're coming here temporarily. You're on a tourist visa. You're coming here to go to Coney Island because you're a roller coaster fanatic and you want to ride the Cyclone 10 times this summer. Or you want to go to Disneyland. You heard about that new Superman ride and you're just dying to get on that roller coaster. That's how you get a tourist visa. You're not coming here to live. You're not coming here to work. On the other hand, this guy has already applied for his green card. His mom has applied for him, and that's a pretty good demonstration of immigrant intent. It's going to be very hard to overcome that. And if you cannot overcome that, you are not going to get a temporary visa. So in answer to this person's question, I would sit tight. Hopefully you have something to do back in your country, because it's going to be a while before you get here.
Okay, but what if he already has a visitor's visa and he decides?
Okay, then he can use it if he already has one. Because that's what I would have suggested: get your tourist visa before you submit your green card application, the I-130. But if he does, he can use it. If he doesn't, he's not going to get one. So and also expires, which is likely, if he has one, it will expire. So typically good for 5 years. He's not going to likely be able to renew it.
Okay, all right, well, but if I'm just speculating here. If he has this visitor's visa, and he's being filed for, and he decided to come here to the United States, could he overstay that visa?
No.
We never suggest that you overstay, but what if he does overstay? That's what I'm saying.
He would not be eligible for adjustment of status. He would need a waiver. In order to be eligible for adjustment of status, he would have to be in continuous status during the pendency of his case.
Right.
Right. As soon as he falls out of status, he would no longer be eligible.
Meaning he would not be able to get his green card in the United States. Whenever it comes 5, 6, 7 years from now, 10 years from now, he'd have to go back to his country and get a waiver.
And get a waiver in order to get a
green card. Plus, if he stays here illegally, he's not going to be able to get permission to work. It's going to seriously complicate his case.
Look at you guys. Depth, experience, knowledge. Once again, folks, you're listening to the attorneys of the law firm, PPID, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. Now you see why you should go to them. Once again, their number is 844-774-3529. It's a snowy day. Let's get to the final question I have here. I am trying to establish whether or not getting married to my spouse will affect his filing process. In 2016 to 17, his grandmother, who is a U.S. citizen, filed for him and his daughter. We would very much like to get married at the soonest, but he does not want to hinder the process of his filing. How will us getting married affect his filing, if at all?
I'm sorry, I've never heard of a grandparent being able
that's
to
what I was
file
about
for a
to say.
grandchild.
Yeah, that's why I hesitated. I'm like,
so maybe the receipt is in the mail, but good luck trying to.
That's when you do things yourself,
There you go. And sometimes people actually go ahead and do that or listen to other people. And that's the reason why, folks, but before we conclude the show, these guys here on the show are attorneys. I think there's a reason why they went to law school. I would like to
these
think
guys
that.
are girl.
I'm sorry, you guys are girl. I'm sorry. Okay, beat me up. Okay, I stand corrected. All right. My apologies, Andrea. Okay. These guys and girls, okay, there is a reason why they went to law school. So if you want to stay out there and do your case yourself and screw it up, which we have addressed hundreds of questions of people who have decided to do their case themselves and screwed it up, which caused some people being removed from the United States or being even more challenged now to actually get the process sorted out by a true professional. Ladies and gentlemen, hire the firm. Let them do the dirty work. They enjoy it. That's the reason why they're lawyers, okay? So reach out to them. Their number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Yes, it's easy for you to listen to what someone else says in the streets and say simply, do it yourself. You don't need an attorney and all of that. I'd like to think once again, this is your status in the United States. Don't mess around with it. Don't play with it, ladies and gentlemen. Let the attorneys do the work. Once again, the number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPIDLAW. I would also like to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that if you do get hurt in an accident, same firm, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico, separate department. The attorneys I'm speaking with today, they do exclusively immigration. Adam Handler, he handles your accident cases. God forbid you get hurt. And I don't believe that there is any attorney that can beat this man in what it is that he does when it comes to accident cases. Call the firm, 844-PPID-LAW. That's 844-774-3529.
It's 10 o'clock.
There we go. And of course, the folks on Facebook want to say thanks to each and every one for tuning in. Attorneys, anything else you have to say before we conclude on this snowy day here?
I think we covered pretty much everything that we wanted to cover today.
Absolutely. All right.
Ladies,
Now,
gentlemen, anything else to add?
Gentlemen and lady, I'm sorry.
No.
Okay. And Andrea?
You're
All
on
right.
mute.
No, nothing else to add. We
All
covered
right.
everything.
Well, thank you all so much for tuning in once again, and thanks a lot for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, with that said, don't forget, store the number 844-774-3529. You may not need it now, but store that number. A full service law firm, also in the capacity of family law, criminal defense, and D.com. I'm going to have to reach out to Zaina and Ali and them to remind them to actually post that link, which ties to the firm, where you can fill that out, ladies and gentlemen, and be a part of the database to receive the newsletter ever so often. Once again, you need to stay updated. Simply email news@ppid.com and you will get on that database. Thank you so much for joining us. Everybody, have a very safe day and be very careful if you're on the outside. No slip and fall, no accidents, because then, hey, you're gonna have to reach out to Adam Handler. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day.